I ran into my local district attorney at a meeting recently, and we started talking. And I asked him if he was having a hard time hiring people. I asked because I was curious about whether the effects of the COVID pandemic are still making it hard to hire prosecutors. District attorneys usually hire young lawyers right out of law school to fill job openings. Now, he said that COVID did make it harder to hire new people, and to a certain extent it still is. But that is not his biggest problem. He said the biggest reason his office is understaffed is because so many young law school graduates do not want to be prosecutors. Well, that surprised the hell out of me because I've always thought that putting bad guys behind bars is a great thing to do and fun too. So I did some research and I found that the problem is not just a local one. All over America, district attorneys' offices are understaffed. I know it's never been easy to hire prosecutors because, well, the pay is terrible and the hours are even worse. But you could still fill the positions because the job is so important. You're protecting people when you put crooks behind bars where they can't hurt anybody else. And doing the job must be great because you can learn about criminal law and you can make connections and maybe someday work in the U.S. Attorney's Office or run for DA or sheriff. Or you can get a good paying job at a criminal defense law firm. So, why is it so hard to hire prosecutors? Well, I should have known. You should have known. It is wokeness. Young lawyers are being taught some really dumb things in law school, like criminals commit crimes because the system is rigged against them. And they're learning that systemic racism forces honest people to become criminals. I know you're dumbfounded because you can't believe how such smart people can graduate from law school and pass the bar exam and still believe these crazy ideas. Nobody forces anyone to become a crook, especially all those repeat offenders running around loose these days. Apparently, they're being forced to commit crimes over and over. If law schools are giving degrees to people who believe this nonsense, then we're in big trouble. I mean, isn't it bad enough that police departments all over America are understaffed because nobody wants to be a cop anymore? Why would you ever want to be a cop when nobody appreciates what you do? According to the media, all cops are racist and corrupt, and they all go around executing innocent black people for no good reason. So now we have a double whammy. You have fewer cops, so they aren't catching as many crooks. And when they do catch them, there aren't always enough prosecutors to convict them. And on top of that, too many cities have elected corrupt DAs, and they refuse to prosecute criminals, which makes the job of being a cop even worse. So that's causing a lot of early retirements and even more shortages. What is happening in America? We don't have enough police officers to protect us. And when they do catch the bad guys, they don't get prosecuted or sent to jail because there aren't always enough prosecutors to do the job. Or because some knucklehead district attorney decides they don't even want to prosecute criminals. I wonder if we can survive as a nation if our system of law enforcement and the justice system collapses. And it is collapsing. And if our law schools keep teaching woke nonsense, things are only going to get worse. This hits right at the heart of our republic. If people stop believing that our justice system is fair, and if it's not working, we're finished. The system is already losing credibility on the national level because of selective prosecutions by the DOJ and the FBI, and this will only make things worse. If you don't feel safe in your community, you lose faith in everything having to do with government. The number one reason for having a government is to keep citizens safe. And if it cannot do that, then the government will fall and be replaced with something else. And you're not going to like that something else. And isn't that what this is all about? There are too many people who want this republic to fail. People who take every opportunity to tell us how terrible our country is. Law schools must stop teaching this radical ideology. They can't be teaching young kids that America is a terrible country. If something is wrong with the legal system, make it better. But don't say the only solution is to tear everything apart, because it isn't. Florida, as usual, is taking the lead on putting a stop to this nonsense. Their legislature is passing laws, and Governor DeSantis is signing them. Their Stop Woke Act should be enacted by every state legislature. And if Republicans control the House and the Senate and the White House, they need to do the same thing nationally. It stops this woke nonsense from being taught in colleges, and we need it nationally. And Republican lawmakers must step up and write laws that protect our legal system from the lies being taught in law schools. And it's imperative that the DOJ and the FBI stop being partisan, because that undermines the faith people have in the legal system, too. Selective prosecutions breed distrust in our legal system, and it must stop. We have to get back to the days when justice was blind. And I think Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray should either resign or be fired. And then someone needs to clean house and get rid of all of the bad actors who have taken over our system. The justice system is critical to keeping and protecting our republic and our freedom. A corrupt legal system undermines our safety and our freedom, and we cannot let this happen anymore. If we fail, the radical left will replace this government with something far worse, like authoritarian socialism. We can stop it, and we must. Call your state and federal lawmakers and demand that they support laws that stop this nonsense. They'll listen if enough people call, and if they don't listen, replace them. These attacks on our justice system are meant to undermine our faith in the government, and we can't let it happen anymore. We have the power to stop it, and we must use it now before it is too late.